Morning, welcome back to Southern Iowa. We are back to harvesting here today. We've had a couple of issues. Yeah, we got one of them's a YouTube issue, but the first thing we don't have an issue with.
Check out that sunrise.
But what we do have going on is one of my SD cards corrupted about halfway through the day, so you see some weird footage in them weird places. I'm going to try and clear you in on things. Might not be wearing the same clothes, that's why. Made it a little hard to make the first video. One of the things that you guys missed out on was I absolutely smoked a turkey vulture with my semi. A little bit of remnants hanging out there, a little bit of remnants hanging out there. Oh heck, there's still even some turkey feathers on the air intake. Come on, get on out of there. Smoked that one, got my mirror, got some smuts on that. I need to get that off. Jake crawled up in the cab though. He's like, oh, how'd you get grease on your handle? I was like, it kind of flew there. Welcome back. Let's get to work. This one's headed to town. I think we're going to the bin, probably with this corn here today. Maybe we can get a quad track back. We'll tell you about that too. Corn's been drying down pretty dang fast. It's been 90 plus degrees here. It's getting dry. We're down to like 15%. Southern rust in this area has absolutely smoked our corn yields. Really hopeful the corn that got fungicide put onto it this year is significantly better. But right now, corn yields are crappy. Moved over, opening up this field. This field looks like it's gonna do significantly better than what else we've harvested so far. So Volvo has a tire that's about to blow out. It's getting new tires on it, I think on one axle. Dad took a load of corn, so I'm in the combine for a little bit right there. Andy's gonna dump that truck, start my truck, back it out, and then he'll probably chase me with the grain cart because that gives us about 3,000 bushels. But that hopefully somebody shows up before then. Task to do. We've got an auger that needs to be set up on a dryer bin. I've got like 100 bushels of corn left in this dryer bin, and we're gonna have to scale it out so we can start to fill the dryer bin. Gotta fix that too. Feel like that might be an annoyance. There we go. What do you guys use to hook up to your augers? We use bolts. Will it make it out of the dirt? Gonna need a bigger board there. That only sunk in the dirt about 8 inches. We got any threads showing up the bottom? No. So we're shelling Dad's corn, and my corn's in the grain bin here. We're just gonna auger it off to this cart, scale it this way. That way we can put it onto a truck and be good to go. Oh, that's a dead pigeon. All right. One of the biggest catastrophes that we narrowly avoided was we about blew the motor up on the 8110. During planting season, Dad was planting beans and he noticed the tractor was getting hot. Put coolant into it, and then it ran and probably planted another couple of acres. And I started it the other day to unhook it from the bean planter so that we could get ready to put it on this tractor, on this grain cart. And I noticed it had a lot of blow-by going on, and this tractor never has blow-by. I mean, this is a solid tractor. It's got, we're getting close to 5,000 hours on this tractor. But one of the things when Dad and I bought this, or when I was looking at it, is these 8-1 motors are like awesome motors. Noticed the blow-by, I stuck my foot under it and pulled it out, and it was coolant, and I was like, that's odd. And my brain went to, like, I went around and the reservoir was full, so I was like, maybe this thing got overfilled or something like that. What really happened was, talking to a mechanic, these 8-1 motors are mechanically gear driven, so they're gear driven water pump, and the bearing had gone out of that, and dirt had started to get in there, and it plugged up the weed hole, and essentially it was pushing coolant into the oil pan. And if it's hot, it just evaporate that, and that's what you're seeing when with the blow-by. But the not good part about it is you get enough coolant in there and you start it and it just sits there. You're lubricating your bearings with coolant instead of oil. So luckily that was caught. That was just about grenaded a 10,000 plus hour motor with 4,800 hours on it. So that would have been a devastating repair bill because of a water pump. Woo! Good news, the blow-by is cleaning up quite a bit. Might take a little while, but it's cleaning up, so keep an eye on it. Let it run for a couple hours here. Let it go to work. We're kind of down to just shuttling trucks back to the yard. So they're not here in the field. Don't know that we'll get done with it now, because I was hoping that quad track would start again after it cooled down. It just turns over. So I think that might be hopeful thinking.
Most of my life was heavy and high. So many days, so many scars. But it was all of those years to make who I am, yeah. But I broke through, and here I stand, yeah. Don't try to fight, nothing you can do, and I'm gonna run all over you. It's too late to try, there's nothing you can do, I'm gonna run all over you. I'm looking for new blood, and nothing's gonna stop me now. Yeah, I'm looking for new blood, and nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. Looking for new blood.
Another problem we've got is, which was on the card that got deleted, the Dad's new to him quad track that we've ran for like 4 hours. Got some type of electrical issue. I'm worried that it's got something going, that the ECU's gone out of it or something like that, but yeah. Well, great start to this tractor. Just said ECU not connected, and that's nice. I don't think it's got a brain. Probably getting hot, and then ECU's faulting out or something like that. And the cart's not loaded though, so don't think that's a silver lining. Went and got the 4440 and the brush hog. I have not ran this thing in like years. how do you get to one side to go down? You no go down. Why you no go down? How do I get the bat wing to go down? Put it in a float until it falls down. Do you mow with it and float? Okay. Had it go on the reinforcements on how to run this thing. I like using the skid steer mower around the field edges. This is a big field, so it'd take a long time with the skid steer mower probably do what you wanted to do. But the skid steer mower, I feel like you're safer, more stable, and like I can, if little trees are starting to grow in places, I can knock back brush, do all that jazz too. I don't know. Put it in gear. Oh, playing the game of do I find a big old washout? Come on down, front tire, fall on in. Well, Jake, you know one of the things about being bored waiting on corn to unload is?
You don't know how freaking bored I am.
The good news is that means the combine ain't stopping. And it ain't waiting on trucks.
You have anything to say, Jake?
Yeah, your auger will move.
Good news is it ain't my auger. Problem number 2 for the day.
That ain't no kidding.
Shut the PTO off. Put her back in gear. I already shut the slider, didn't show you that. Head back to the combine, get more corn. This is the life of a combine driver. I mean, grain cart driver. I don't drive a combine. And then there's the debate. You put your auger down. We typically do lots of trees and stuff, and if it ain't sticking up there, you're way less likely to run into something. Plus, going across the field with it bouncing around out there, I don't know. You can debate it in the comments. Auger up, auger down. Tell me your choice. I feel safer with it down. It doesn't take much effort to put it up. Anyway, see you in a little bit.
So we're taking on a little bit of a rain day project to finish up this video with you guys here. Cattle lane here that used to bring cows up with, that they're not anymore. So we're gonna remove this cattle lane here today. Post puller. Wait. So, actually one of the videos that I was going to make this year, we were moving hay around. This is my dad's new skid steer. New used skid steer. It's got like half the hours that the one that he and I own together. We own that one together. This one's just his. So, and they were cleaning off some CRP yesterday. So, it's over here. Both the skid steers are over here. Gonna try and rip out this lane on a rain day. Finish out this video, take you guys with us. Other than that, I don't know if they're even the same year, but it is just The same thing, Kubota SVL 90 standard flow hydraulics. Yeah, same machine, just with actually a quarter of the hours on it. Does 1,000 hours on it, and I think we just rolled over to like 4,400 hours or something like that on that one. This one I still even think has factory tracks on it. We're probably getting time to put new ones on it, and we aren't getting too far from needing new ones on the other one either. But even though that this is a tighter machine, I'm not going to risk tearing up Dad's machine, so we're taking the tree puller off of this one and putting it on ours. This one even actually has less hours than when we bought that one, because we bought that one with 1,400 hours on it. Just goes to show how much I use this skid steer. But a pile of hours on skid steer over here. So the plan's pretty simple here today. Just grab a post, pull the post out. That's a big post. Do that and then cut the fence every so often so that the pile isn't too big and we get all the wires and stuff. So hopefully the ground being dry, that these kind of just pull out relatively easy, like so. So now with the roll woven wire, I'm just kind of like trying to roll it. I'm getting the T-posts in there for the most part, not all of them. They're not the T-posts, but the posts. So I'm gonna have to come back and get some. But I'm trying to just ball it up like a big rat nest without getting it caught in the grapple. Finish up this project, gonna mow the lane, which Jake is down there doing right now. Ended up being the next day before we got this thing over here, but here's a little drone footage of it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
and I'm